selling President William Samoei Ruto or defending him in any part of this country today has become a very painful experience. Those who have been instructed to defend William Ruto, they themselves don't believe in Ruto, but they've been instructed and they have to do it anyway. I dare say that those who have been engaged in trying to defend William Ruto, people like Kithure Kindiki, Kimani Ichung'wah, and the likes, must be added more allowances because it is not very easy. We are dealing with a generation that has lost hope in William Samoei Ruto. We are dealing with a generation that are spending time in social media, and so the level of information is at the fingertips. So you cannot really hoodwink them. This is not the very people William Ruto hoodwinked by telling them the bottom-up economy, telling them that, you know, you are hustlers and others are dynasties. Things have really changed. And if you listen to those members of parliament or leaders who are trying to defend William Samoei Ruto, you look at their countenance and you'll see they don't believe in it. It's painful because they are forcing it. They know the truth and they understand this is the truth, but they can't say it. They have to lie in broad daylight. One of the things that is being talked about is the government's onslaught on people who do not read from the same page as them. There is a sudden norm where leaders who are opposing William Ruto all of a sudden have become very corrupt. The EACC has been charged against them. They are being abducted. But you see, as a government adherent, you are not supposed to accept that this is what is happening. And all these cases are in the court of public opinion. And people are really judging William Ruto very harshly. Yesterday, the junior member of parliament, Kiumburi, was allegedly found, tortured, and dumped in one of the coffee plantations. Now, there are two sides of the story. Rigathi Gachagua is saying that Kiumburi is being tortured because of his allegiance to him. Just like what William Ruto used to say, that the members of parliament who aligned to his political ideologies were being tortured and frustrated by the former regime, his boss, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But the police is saying that they read mischief and they are even alleging, they have taken a position that George Kiumburi stage manages abduction and torture to gain political mileage. And if you speak to someone who supports William Ruto, they hold very strongly that view that, you know, these are people who want to gain political sympathy. And one wonders, surely, you can stage manage your abduction, but can you stage manage your torture? Can you inflict pain on yourself just to gain political mileage? And people are really asking questions. So there was a debate this morning on Citizen TV, and George Gitonga, who is a member of parliament of Tharaka Nithi, is also the chairman of the JLAC, Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, was trying to defend the government and was trying to cast aspersion in the manner in which Kiumburi and the Rigathi camp are saying that he was abducted. And he found it very difficult. And when you look at him and listen to him, you really sympathize with him because he's defending something that you can defend something that when you sit down on your own, you are having a soliloquy and you're saying, surely, what was I trying to do? You find it very difficult to say, anyway, nitaendelea tu kwa sababu I'm following William Ruto. I want us to listen to him and you'll understand the pain that is going through trying to defend something that he knows very well is wrong. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Click the notification bell. Please like and share our videos.
Why? He's a state officer.
Not arrested.
He's a member of parliament.
But why should he not be arrested?
Just wait. Why should you arrest anybody?
Because that is what the law provides.
That is not what it does. First, you are summoned.
The law provides.
You are in. Just wait, Wishmiwa.
Which law says what you say? You don't.
Let me ask you.
Let's not throw the law. The law does.
When a police officer comes to check on me if I've broken the law, what does he do?
He comes to establish whether you've committed an offense.
Wait. So why would they abduct the MP?
Unfortunately, and we got to be right with this, it's
question of whether you support the government.
No, wait, answer me. Why did they then abduct him?
I'm sorry. Where do you get the
Senator.
abduction from, Senator?
Oh my God.
Senator.
It is in the paper here.
It is in the paper.
You want to tell me the newspaper, these people are mad?
We are not saying anything.
Are you telling me these people, these two headlines are mad?
We are not saying anything.
Sammy, I don't think I need to be here with such a guy.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think
you don't come here and rant and shout and then you say, go if you want to go.
No.
I'm sorry.
In fact, allow this guy to continue pontificating about this.
Just calm down, because you need to
You
have
mean
a
these
conversation.
headlines are all fake?
We need to have a
I'm
conversation.
sorry.
I think some. Let me be the voice of reason here. Let me be the voice of reason.
Sorry.
Let me be the voice of reason here.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
And I want to say that I feel like my good friend Gitonga Murugara must take back his words. Before you even say anything about this issue, you need to realize this is a colleague like you.
I'm sorry. I know it.
You know,
Gitonga.
no.
Gitonga. You're also a colleague like me.
This gentleman, right on the first page of the paper.
Yes.
Is this a picture you would like to see?
I wouldn't want to see.
Why did you say that this man might be pretending?
That's why
That's not right.
That's why I need
That's not right. Which investigation?
Okay.
Are we going to trust?
Let me
are we going to trust the investigation organ? Are we going to investigate the investigating organ? If even today they are trashing this issue, are we going to investigate and say we can trust what these people are going to tell us?
Chairman,
are we going to accept?
The point of contention here, it's okay, Mheshimiwa. The point of contention here, I think it's your remark saying that him being a politician, you sort of insinuated that you cannot trust that this actually happened to him.
Correct.
Being inflicted from
I don't
elsewhere.
trust even Mukunji was abducted. I don't trust it. Admit of that.
So talk to me.
To say it.
Okay. It's fine. It's his opinion.
I don't trust you.
Until it happens to somebody.
Just a moment.
Until it happens to somebody.
Chairman, you chair the Justice Legal Affairs.
Yeah,
Correct.
I believe it. He chairs the Justice and Legal Affairs.
At the Senate, it is also the committee that takes care of human rights issues.
Absolutely.
At the National Assembly, which committee takes care of that?
Justice and Legal Affairs.
Justice Legal Affairs.
Yes.
So talk to me
You're
about...
full of yourself here.
No.
Mheshimiwa Mukunji, please.
Mukunji, you don't use foul language.
Chairman,
I'm sorry.
You made a fool of yourself here. You cannot say we are pretending.
You say you're clever than me.
How do you say people are pretending?
Please,
You
don't be
pretended you were
distracted.
abducted.
Chairman Murugara,
For what?
Don't be distracted.
For your own sake.
No.
I'm sorry, you did it.
What did I benefit?
Because you had the reasons to do it.
So if I lost my life, would you be saying the same?
Mheshimiwa Mukunji,
how would you have
can
lost?
you make progress? I know the Senator Nyonka, you wanted to say something because I want us to take a short break.
I'm kind of just feeling like I'm silly.
Why?
I actually don't feel like sitting here.
What is it?
I mean, a head of state comes to, he's in Homa Bay and he says, yes, I'm going to stop the abductions. Raila is standing there and he's telling him, I've said Ruto should stop the abductions. Ruto comes and says, I've stopped their abductions. All the people are abducted. They are now with their parents and everything. He is the chairman of the damn committee. Did he summon anybody to ask him why the president was admitting to those crimes?
Can I respond?
What am I doing?
Let me respond. I'm sorry. If Senator Nyonka doesn't want to
me
read
to
it.
just
Yeah,
leave.
No, you
just
can't.
go.
I think I need to
go. Just go.
Senator,
I'm sorry.
we have
Can I respond to
What am I
that?
sitting here
We have so
doing
many-
people like
Can I
this?
respond, please?
You can't give
What
up
am
on
I sitting
Kenyans.
here?
You don't judge yourself and you say people like this.
Senator Onyonka, you
Senator
cannot...
Nyonka.
You cannot...
It's so disappointing for a state.
I can assure you.
No, Senator...
No,
It's
he should
heartbreaking.
resign. I'm going
Chairman,
to call out him in the
Chairman,
National
please.
Assembly.
You will not.
Senator...
Yeah, I'm going to call you out.
Just hold on.
I know you have the
Chairman
numbers,
Murugara,
but
Chairman Murugara.
you cannot make the whole National Assembly look
Chairman
stupid
Murugara.
because of this.
Please,
Let me tell you,
Mheshimiwa
I don't
These
accept
are the material that you have that
Gitonga Mukunji does not even come to Parliament. So he will make it where?
What
He
does
doesn't
it?
come to Parliament.
Okay.
It doesn't come to Parliament. Where does he go? Where does he
The
go?
other guy, Gitonga Mukunji doesn't come to Parliament. Where is he going to
the
debate?
executive, they have been
He doesn't come to
they are
Parliament.
selling everything.
So now...
Even rights of Kenyans.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
We are making
Let me respond to this way.
and these are the people you call leaders.
Sorry.
Please, for us to have a serious
Unfortunately,
discussion, can you allow the chairman to leave?
Unfortunately,
Can you allow the chairman to leave and
hold
go
on,
defend the
Mukunji.
Chairman.
Mukunji, you don't go up to Parliament, so you're going to make your knee nowhere.
Chairman,
So I stay in the Parliament 24 hours if there.
No, you stay in
So
Parliament.
I'll be there.
I will come there and I'll call you out.
Let me
I'm
respond.
going to call you out in
Let me
Parliament.
make a response.
It has to be in Hansan that I call you.
Let me make a
listen.
response.
Onyonka there could not take it because he feels we are not imbeciles, to be played and tossed around with. But Murugara was also finding it very difficult to try and persuade and convince us that indeed the government is not involved. This case is with the police. They say they're investigating this. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you find it very funny that the police that is being accused to be perpetuating abductions are the same ones that have got the purview. It falls under their purview to investigate. So it is like you're investigating yourself. In this video, because when something is with the police they're investigating, you are not allowed to speculate. But there's another thing. If there is an issue that has attracted public interest, then people are allowed to discuss it under the law, the Kenyan law. So in light of the fact that this is a matter that is of public interest, then we are allowed to talk about it. If you are the investigating officer and you want to connect certain dots to find out, you are a neutral partner in this, you are an investigative officer, let's say you are from Scotland Yard and you are now told, even before you start collecting and collating facts together, you are given what happened, just an overview. What are some of the reasons that can tilt your mind even to believe that Koimburi abducted himself and tortured himself, vis-a-vis Koimburi was actually abducted by the state? And that is what I want us to look at, because sometimes things are quite open for us. I want to give you 4 reasons why the public generally feels that there is the government involvement in this. And let me tell you, number 1, Murugara is trying to say that there are no abductions. Yet William Ruto himself, in 2 occasions, if I can remember, has admitted that there have been abductions. The first one was when he was in Homa Bay with Raila Amolo Odinga. And he said he had instructed the security forces not to abduct any other person. In other words, he was saying, yes, there have been abductions, but moving forward, he was going to ensure that there would be zero tolerance to abductions in the country. So the head of state, who is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, actually admitted that there have been abductions. So Murugara cannot tell us that there's never been any abduction in the country. Number 2 was when William Ruto met the president of Finland in the country here, and he was put to task to explain. The BBC had just run a story that was exposing the government, how the police and the military were involved in killing Gen Zs when they stormed parliament. So when William Ruto was put to task, he actually admitted that there have been abductions, but then he was saying that all the abductees had been set free and they had gone back to their families, something that really attracted a lot of outrage, because there are families to date that have never found their families. So by admission that there have been abductions in the country, you cannot really tell us that Murugara was not abducted. The president has said there have been abductions, and those who have been abducted are those people who have been trying to oppose the government, like Gen Zs were actually making noise about the Finance Bill 2024. That was just a trigger. They were actually tired of this government that does not listen to them. Actually, before the passing of the Finance Bill, Kenyans had really opposed it. But our members of parliament decided to listen to the executive rather than listening to us. No wonder Rigathi Gachagua came up with the slogan, Sikiza ground. So that tells you that there could be a possibility that the state was involved in abducting and torturing that member of parliament. Number 2, anytime something of that nature happens, the police will always take a position. On this one, they are already saying that this man might have abducted himself. And I was reading that they were saying that the people who found Koimburi in that coffee plantation, number 1, how did they know that he was there? I mean, such questions, I don't know. Now, I want to give you another example. When that Catholic priest, John Maina, died and was found dumped in Kikopey, that is Nairobi-Nakuru highway, they were telling us there's something that they call preliminary investigations. they were telling us that, this man was given some money by Rigathi Gachagua, and therefore some people wanted this money. Something that was actually meant to shape our opinion in a certain way, to start thinking like, actually this priest was killed because of the money. And that was just a few days after some goons invaded Rigathi's unveiling party in Lavington. Again, even before any discussions, any investigations, Murkomen, who's the Interior CS, came up and was telling us that these youths had been promised some money, and therefore they were demanding the money. That's why they caused chaos. So you can see that there is a trend where the police that is supposed to be trusted to investigate and give us a very neutral, result, is the one that already takes a position. So even on this, looking at how they've been, the trends and how they've been doing the investigations really tells you that you cannot trust them. This is why it beats any logic when you say that, Koimburi knew very well that he was being looked for by the authorities, that he would have gone and surrendered himself to the CID headquarters. I don't know, because you don't trust them. Utaendaji huko na you don't trust that they can even, do very bad things to you. Number 3, the beginning of all this fracas was malicious. The epicenter of this was impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. That's why all those who align themselves to Rigathi become enemies of the state. The beginning, when they impeached Rigathi Gachagua, they accused him of a man who's playing tribal politics, a man who's speaking about shareholders. Today, even the broad-based government, those who joined together and impeached Rigathi Gachagua, are saying the same thing. Oburu keeps on saying that we want our shares, we are eating our shares, not any other person's share. So when you look at it very carefully, you understand that it was very malicious to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. So the malice has been extended to anyone who supports Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why we believe very strongly that there could be the hidden hand of the state in the alleged abduction and torture of the Juja member of parliament. The last one, when the news came, it didn't come from any other person, but from the wife of this member of parliament. After he had been allegedly abducted in front of a church, they had just finished their service there. And the wife was saying this happened in front of the family, in front of the children, and the children are asking, where is daddy? Very traumatizing. When this news came up, we expected that the Interior CS or the security operators would even tell us that they are working hard to ensure that those people who have done the same are brought to book, that they're investigating this. They waited until this member of parliament was found allegedly dumped in a coffee plantation. That is when they are now issuing, statements that, oh, this man abducted himself. We really expect them, if it was, for example, a member of parliament who is supporting, let's say, Kimani Ichung'wah. Let's say today, Kimani Ichung'wah's wife comes up and says that Kimani has been abducted. Do you think the government will sit back? You will see all the security apparatus let loose to go and search and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. But because it was a member of parliament that is supporting Rigathi Gachagua, they didn't care. They didn't care at all. Because now justice is being dispensed selectively, depending on which side of the political divide that you're supporting. So their silence and their don't care attitude is one that betrays them. That's why people feel that, how watu wako involved. People like Natembeya don't read from the same page, and all of a sudden the EACC is sent to them. So the war against corruption has been weaponized and politicized. The government has lost the explanation, and there is a trust deficit between the government and the people. No one trusts them. That is why Murugara, people like Murugara who are trying to defend the government, are finding it very difficult. They lose their cool. They even want to fight, because when you can't give facts, you want to force it down the throat of people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not very easy. Waongezewe allowances, because it's not easy to face people who know the truth and you want to force them to agree with you.